we certainly don't want to bypass, even though the news cycle is so fast. When something happened a day ago, it seems like it was like 5 months ago. But when we're talking about the level athlete of a KJ Bolden, Chris, wow, big pickup over the weekend, 6'1", 185, Buford, Georgia, pulled right out of under the nose of Kirby Smart, one of the top-rated players in all of high school football, number 1 rated safety.
Yeah, Tallahassee's absolutely ecstatic about landing KJ. What he brings as far as his talents is one thing, but the best part of KJ is he's going to be one of those guys there's not many athletes out there that are college ready from day one. And this young man, you would argue, could step on the field tomorrow and compete with some of the best that are across the country. And I do agree, he might need to stay exactly where he is in size, because a lot of people are saying, does he need to be bigger? And I personally don't think that he has to be much bigger at all. But what KJ brings to the table is going to be extremely special for Florida State. It's about time that we go after our next Derwin James. I know that's a big name. I know that's a set of shoes to fill, and that not happened yet. But KJ is that caliber of player. He's just that good already. Statistically, I think he actually outmatches Derwin a little bit. But the facts of the matter is to land a 5-star like KJ Bolden when everyone had anticipated and pretty much put their money down that he was going to the University of Georgia for reasons that are understandable. For Florida State to get in there and land him is absolutely, they're on fire. The way that they're recruiting right now, I can't sit here and compare and say that anyone else is doing better than Florida State. I understand that they're 5th right now in the recruiting rankings because of Rodarius Morgan flipping to Alabama. But he was also a safety, and you just brought in KJ Bolden, the best safety in the country. So you kind of anticipate a little bit of attrition when you gain something of that caliber.
No doubt. We're just talking about it. Perception is reality. Me and Chris, we can tell you like every move that's happened the past 3 months in the KJ Bolden recruitment, leaning Georgia, leaning Florida State, going back and forth, certain things that happened behind the scenes that ended up sealing the deal. But as far as the rest of the country is concerned and all these other kids in the 25 and 26 class, Florida State just landed 2 5-stars, back to back. That's all there is to it. And that's what, as much as you'd like to think, the merits of everything that's going on in the department, et cetera, it's like, no, like we landed 2 5-stars back to back. And that's going to let 2 more 5-stars possibly do it in September, so it's just a steady trajectory up. So high school recruiting, Mike Norvell has just made an amazing comeback after all the crap that was talked in June, to see where we are a month later.
Yeah, it's amazing to see number 5 ranked recruiting class according to 247 Sports, 21 commits, 3 5-stars, 12 4-stars, and a strong 91.5 ranking, and right up there with the likes of Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama. There it is. Wow. And, people were concerned about Mike Norvell's ability to recruit. Well, he just had to coach up one team, show that he could win 10 games. And he obviously took that recruiting skill to the transfer portal first and foremost, but now he's doing it the high school route as well. It's impressive.
And I would also say that he's made some, especially this last hire, he's just made some really good hires. You hired Pat Surtain, who has the resume of his pedigree is just absolutely amazing. And I think that's the reason why you landed those 2 DBs at 5-star, other than Coach Norvell being who he is. And then you hire a student assistant coach in 2013 national title winner, Nick OLeary. Like, those are the types of hires that you got to make to really put the elite status in to measure, because of you've got Pat Surtain, who has succeeded at the most elite level as a player, who has also done so at getting his son into the NFL, who has also done at the high school level of winning championships at American Heritage. Then he turns around and is about to do something probably really special, moving up the pole ranks of the Miami Dolphins. Luckily, Florida State calls him and gets him to Florida State as the DB coach, and now he's going to climb the rankings here, and he's going to achieve at the highest level. Everybody says that it's not always promised that someone's going to continue on a measure of greatness, but when they don't know any other way, when they don't know how to become any better, or they don't know how to work at an average level, they can only give you greatness. So I think that that's what you get out of Pat Surtain. And then you go and hire Nick OLeary, who 2013 goes and wins a national title, probably played harder than anybody on that team if you go watch him. He definitely practiced to the level of eliteness, definitely made plays at an elite level. And I know I'm throwing the word elite around, but that's what those two guys are to me. And their expectations to these young men are going to be nothing but elite. So when everyone's performing at the level that they're supposed to, that's what creates champions, and therefore what brings championships to whomever it is that they're coaching for. So the last few hires from Coach Norvell have been just home run hits, grand slam, so to speak. And I'm extremely excited for the future because I know it's going to happen one day. And Antonio Cromartie is going to be hired at Florida State. I just got that feeling in my bones, and I know some people may not like it, but I'm going to absolutely fall in love with it.
There's no doubt. And you talk about Patrick Surtain, senior, man. I mean, he is setting up to possibly be that Alex Atkins on the defense. So maybe Antonio Cromartie takes over the DBs when he gets bumped up. Maybe Adam Fuller gets a head coaching job a couple years down the road. Who knows? I'd love it.
Patrick Surtain, 11 years in the NFL. Just had to look up the stats because, man, I remember a lot of Sundays watching him. He was first rate. He was a tremendous player. 37 career interceptions in the NFL. Nick OLeary was in the NFL for 5 seasons as well. So they've achieved at the highest level. They've achieved a championship level, of course, Nick OLeary in particular at Florida State. And those are the kind of people you want to stick around the program. And, they've proven it themselves, so they know what it takes. They have the knowledge, they have the ability, and then on top of that, they have that Knoll blood running through their veins, so they have extra incentive rather than going to work for somebody else. Not that they wouldn't do their best, but they have that extra incentive in a Nick OLeary, at least in his case, to teach and develop these young men to win football games.
And that 5-year career he carved out was, pure grit. He made it through with hard work and just being that dude. So I was surprised. I got surprised when they hired him, but it's really awesome for the program. And he's no nonsense. So I'm sure he'll make a good coach. He's absolutely no nonsense. Big dip and a scowl on his face. I'd hate to be the one that's like taking that pad or that ball ripped from him. It's not the normal drill when he's running it.
Mm-mm.
Falconer TRX, thank you so much for the contribution there. Seems like NCAA did not like leaving the ACC talk.
Yeah, that did come pretty quick after all the realignment rumors. They can't say anything, but just going by all the tweets and all of a sudden the ACC network is wall to wall FSU content. They're definitely they're putting out their little microaggressions out there saying, look, we've done everything right by you guys. I don't understand why you aren't happy.